proper motion, probably seconded. Amendment now is before us. Any objection to the question? Representing, we're going to put it on the board. All right. Since it's outside the committee, we're on the board for the vote without objection. Question's been called. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Mr. Trooper, please remove that individual as well. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 72, 22 nays.
Amendment number 2 passes. Ms. Clerk, call the next amendment.
Mr. Speaker, no further amendments.
Chairman Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The amendment updates the effective date, and the bill as amended clarifies that the location requirements of TCA 751-1407A apply to an adult cabaret, regardless of whether the adult cabaret is a single performance or multiple performances. With that, Mr. Speaker, I renew my motion.
Chairman Todd renews his motion. Any discussion on the bill? Representative McKenzie, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Within this bill, there's also something called an adult-oriented establishment. Does that still exist within the confines of this bill?
Chairman Todd, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The language of the bill that we are updating does not change that, I don't believe. I'm looking for the exact version as it's written. A1, as amended, would not change, but A2, Section 1 of the bill, of the amendment, changes Section 2 for the purposes of that describes Section 1, A1.
Representative McKenzie.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So within the first bill that you passed last year, the definition of an adult-oriented establishment changed, and you took out the word predominantly within that language. So now any entity, any business is established as an adult-oriented business if they carry something that someone deems adult-oriented. And my concern with that is Victoria's Secrets now becomes part of this bill. Target could potentially now become part of this bill by taking the word predominantly out. Walmart would now become part of this adult-oriented theme. And I don't think that's what you all and the other makers of the bill want, but it wants to do. But as I think that was Section 5, as it's redefined, I think that opens up the scope of what an adult-oriented business way beyond what I think was intended. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And that is not what the bill does. The bill simply says that a single performance has to meet the same requirements as an adult-oriented business. 1,000 feet from a church, child care facility, private, public charter school.
Mr. Trooper, please remove that individual too. Thank you, Chairman Todd, you're recognized. Go ahead, Chairman Todd.
A public park, family recreation center, residence, or place of worship. That's the intent of the bill, so that a single performance is classified for those distances, just like a business that's their predominant business. That's what we're doing.
Representative McKenzie. Good. Representative Jones of Davison.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I think it's a little absurd that this is the first day of session, and when we have children going hungry, we have schools underfunded. This is the #1 bill on day one, agenda item 1. I've traveled around the state this summer. I've heard no one bring up the issue of obscenity and pornography besides this issue of the Epstein files. That's the only thing I've heard people call out when we look at a danger to young people, and yet the party on the other side has been the pedophile protection party, trying to cover up that danger to our children, but wants to come in here and lecture us on obscenity and pornography, including, this bill would include, it says male or female impersonators. I don't know about Chris Todd, I don't know what you watch on TV, I don't know if you heard of Medea, Big Mama's House, White Chicks, any of these movies, but I remember watching these growing up, and they were not a danger to youth. They were not something that we should be afraid of. And so I think really what this is, it's a veneer of hate to try and demonize another, to create another on day one, to say, look over there, Tennessee. So you don't look over here and look at the folks who are corrupt in this building, taking your money and giving it to corporations. Don't look over here and look at how you are still struggling to get by day, but look at this very minute issue that no one cares about except Representative Todd, it appears, to continue bringing this up year after year after year and to make this a priority on day one. I just think it's absurd. And I hope that the people in your district see that this is what the priority is for you. Not to make their lives better, but to go after something that is a non-existent threat, something that is not an actual material benefit to them, that will not make their lives any different, but it's about regulating obscenity and pornography. I gotta ask Representative Todd, as you came back here on the first day of session, how many of these establishments do you have in your district, or how many folks in your district would be impacted and their lives would be made better by this legislation? Have you had any conversation with anybody in Madison County who said that this is what they want you to bring this session? And if so, can you name any establishments in your district that would be impacted by this bill? Or can you name how many establishments like this there are in Tennessee who would be impacted by your bill?
Chairman Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've had overwhelming support in my district, and I've got a feeling the representative will see an overwhelming sea of green on that board when we vote on this. Thank you, Mr.
Representative
Speaker.
Jones.
I think this is the drunkenness with power that we come here, that we think that this, because you all vote yes, that the people want this. The majority of people in Tennessee want Medicaid expansive. The majority of people in Tennessee want marijuana legalized. The majority of people in Tennessee want us to look at ways to bring the cost of living down. And yet we'll not see a green board for those issues. Instead, we come here and say, let's come up with a made-up issue to scare people, to create a boogeyman, when the boogeyman, the most perverted man, the most danger to our children is in the White House, who is on the Epstein list, who you all have protected, who you all have been silent about,
Hey,
because you don't actually care.
Representative Jones, you are off topic. This is on the bill. I appreciate your spirited comments, but you need to keep it on the legislation and not veer off, as you know. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But my point I'm trying to make, Mr. Speaker, and I hope you appreciate this, and I hope that we have bipartisan support, that we don't want pedophiles who are a danger to our children. Whether they're in the State House or the White House, we don't want them around our children. And that we should be transparent about protecting our children. But this bill does nothing to protect young people. This bill does nothing to protect Tennesseans. This bill is about fear-mongering and hate, and it's something that is a made-up issue that we're being brought here and forced to treat like real legislation on day one, when this belongs in the trash because it's not doing anything to improve the lives of Tennesseans. I'm tired of coming here. We're talking about how lives are so temporary, how some members may not be here next year. Is this the legacy you want to start on day one, to say that when my term is up here, I restricted and banned, drag shows? That seems a little embarrassing to me. And it seems like you're trying to repress something if that's what you're afraid of. Let's be open. If you feel a little turned on when you go to a drag show, that's okay. It's okay. Be yourself. But don't try and use your insecurities and your projection to create policy. We need to be a welcoming and inclusive state, and we need to prioritize the things that Tennesseans want, not this foolery, not this distraction, not this deflection and deception. But let's talk about improving people's lives. I hope that Representative Todd, who I serve on with the Agriculture Committee, will prioritize number one, helping our farmers who are getting screwed over by this administration. Let's prioritize that and support the farmers of Tennessee, not supporting this foolery and this this foolishness that is a distraction from the real issues facing Tennesseans. I talk to farmers, they need help. This is not something that I heard any of them bring up to.
Unfortunately, you forgot to mention not having pedophiles in our neighborhoods either. Representative Zachary, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We previous question.
Previous question been called. Any objection? There's objection. We're on the board. All those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Mr. Clerk, please take the vote.
Aye, 73, 23 nays.
Previous question prevails. We are voting. All those in favor of House Bill 884 as amended, vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Please remove the individual again. Please vote aye or nay. Mr. Clerk, Any member wish to change your vote? Every member voted. Ms. Clerk, please take the vote.
Ayes 73, 24 nays.
House Bill 884, having received constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. The motion reads, sir, table. Call up next bill, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, that